So we completely reached to the last part of this chapter. Here we are going to know about the globalization process. We have already learned the globalization definition and how it affects into our agricultural process, into the industries. We are all have already learned the significance of globalization from the economics part. So there we have to know about the globalization, how it affects to the full concept of agriculture. Okay. So globalization, first we have to know about globalization. What is it? When everything is coming into our hand, that means the whole world is, if we are connecting through the whole world through the transport or the communication systems, and everything is coming into our hand, that is called the globalization. That means the globes has come into our hand. Okay. So globalization has existed since the colonial era. Spices were exported. Yes, we have learned from history. Spice gardens were there, and the export-import businesses were also started to Europe during 19th century. And farmers in South India, they were encouraged to grow the spices, which were exported in a variety of countries. Even today we can see what spices remain one of India's most important exports. Yes, India's most important export, because Kerala is very famous for its spice garden. Different kinds of spices we can have from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra. So these things are also going to different places in our world. Cotton was exported. That means different examples are given for the sake of globalization, how it affects on agriculture. Cotton was exported to textile mills in Manchester and Liverpool. Indigo was exported in the United Kingdom for the use of textile industry, and this compelled the production of indigo and sparked the Champaran movement in Bihar in 1917. Agriculture has also taken on the dimensions of the modern era, and farmers from Europe and America, they are heavily subsidized by their governments, and as a result of farmers cannot compete on price with them, because in our places the prices are little bit more. That's why the farmers can't compete with the different sides farmers. And India also faced new challenges as a result of globalization, particularly since which year? 1990. The Green Revolution has resulted in land degradation, aquifer depletion, and the extinction of the biodiversity. Biodiversity, that means the variation of the species in trees, plantations, and also for animals. So that is the differences, and that is the advantage and disadvantage we have learned for the globalization. I think all of you understood the disadvantage we have learned for the globalization process. What is the disadvantage? That the Indian farmers can't compete to the other farmers of the American Europe sides, because they are heavily subsidized by their government. But in these places, we people are not getting the support for the government. So that's why that is the main issue for the farmers. Come to the gene revolution. It's a very important concept in a modern days. First, I am telling on my own words that what is gene revolution. Basically, it's an application of biotechnology in food production. It is of great potential to farmers as it provides them with disease-free planting and material, develops plants that resist pests and diseases, and reducing use of chemicals that harm the environment and human health. That is the gene revolution. Some of the part I am highlighting, all of you will learn this portion very well. It's widely used for the term gene revolution, agricultural revolution in the modern era. It's a modern era concept. It's genetically engineered, and genetic engineering is widely recognized as a valuable tool for the developing new hybrid seed varieties. Sometimes we are doing the hybrid seed mixing. You all know that. So that is very much important for the gene revolution. Organic farming is also popular, but it avoids the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. They don't use the synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. Indian farmers face a bleak future if they continue to grow the food grains on lower productivity holdings as the population grows. Till now, our population is a larger rather than the different countries and the states also. So, for their growing demands for the larger population, if we are continuing the gene revolution, then it will be profitable for all the large farmers and small farmers. So, they made a policy that encourages Indian farmers to switch from cereal crops to high valued crops like fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, as well as the biodiesel crops like jatropha, jojoba. This requires the significantly less irrigation than rice or sugarcane, but India's diverse climate and geography can be used to cultivate a variety of high valued crops. That is called the gene revolution. And in the last part we have the benefits of changing cropping pattern in India. What was the benefit, the advantage? In India, cropping pattern is altered. Yes, crop rotation, rice cultivation, this is the different portion. For example, from cereals to the high value crops, we will be forced to import food. For the high valued crops, if we want to grow up in this kind of climate, we need to import the food, and we had to import food as well in 1960. But that was viewed as a disaster at that time, because when you are importing something, you have to pay the money. So before that, importing, if it's less than the exporting, then you will be valuable, you will be profitable. On the other hand, what happened? India imports cereals while exporting high valued commodities, and it will follow the footsteps of the successful economies such as Italy, Israel, Chile, and these countries export agricultural products such as fruits, olive seeds, wines, and import cereals. So this is the benefits of the changing cropping patterns, so that whenever they need some materials, they were importing something, and the value added or valued commodities they are sending or they are selling to the other countries, so their profit will be also coming greater rather than previous days.